Hi everybody, I want to talk about troubleshooting your code and especially validation. So here I have a file that I've created and I'm going to go ahead and open it with brackets and do the live preview so that I can see it in Chrome. And when I do that, I can see that it doesn't look the way I expect. I'm not expecting the navigation to look so big, and so I know that this page has some problems. What I can do is go to the W3C markup validation and notice that I can enter the URL, I can validate by file upload, or I can paste in code to validate. I'm going to do the file upload. And I'll go ahead and click check to validate. Now sometimes these errors are a little hard to understand, especially for beginners, and especially when you validate a lot of code at one time. So my advice to you is to start with your basic HTML skeleton and then validate each time you add a section of code. And that will help to narrow down where your problem might be. But since we have this full web page, I'll start by looking at these errors, and I can see that there are some errors with the H1. It says nav not allowed as a child element of H1. Heading cannot be a child of another heading. So it seems like I'm having some problems with that H1. And also I'm noticing some problems with the LI. So you can see that there are quite a few LI errors. So now what I'm going to do is just go back to brackets and talk about how I can use brackets for clues as well. And I'm going to start by using the Beautify extension to indent the code. And when I click on code, brackets will highlight the opening and closing tags. And brackets will also use a different color for errors. So in this case it's red. I can see that there's a problem. What this is telling me is that I do have an opening and closing HTML tag, but there's something wrong in between. Now our validation showed a problem with the H1, so let's start there. Notice when I click on the H1 there's no closing H1 tag, so I'll fix that. Save. Now when I click body, I notice that there's no closing body tag. That's a good clue, so let me fix that. And now I can see that there's no more red code. So it seems like the main tags are all properly coded, but remember that we had an error with the LI code. Now if you go back to the book or Google HTML LI, you'll find out that the LI tags need to be within OL or UL tags, so let me fix that. I'll beautify again to re-indent. So let's view it in Chrome again and we'll validate again. And I can see that there are no errors. Now don't forget your header structural element. That goes around your H1. And again, I'll beautify. Remember that these structural elements provide meaning for machines like search engines or screen readers, and they'll also be useful later on when we begin to add styles. Now, I save a lot of time using some Firefox add-ins for validation, and you can do this by clicking Settings, Add-ons, and then just do a search for HTML validation and install the one by Mark Gurry. You might have to restart Firefox.
Now to validate from my browser, all I need to do is bring up the web developer tools, and I can do that just by right-clicking an element on the page and inspecting the element. There's also a keystroke combination that works, Control-Shift-I. Because I installed that HTML validator, I'll see a tab that will show me some of the errors when I validate. Now, you might want to look up developer tools for the browser that you're interested in using. And let me close this out. So when I did that for Firefox, it showed me a bunch of information about some of the different tools that you can use. This comes in really handy when we're working with cascading style sheets later in the course.